Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to RPM Season 5. It's time for the penultimate round of the season already. And we are at the high-speed street circuit in the city of Baku in Azerbaijan. A very, very complicated circuit. High risk. I wouldn't even say a high reward. We've got 6 kilometers around this 20-turn circuit. As I said earlier, high speed. And a circuit that some of the drivers might know better than others. I'm not sure if it's featured before with RPM, but one thing's for sure is we're going to see a bucket load of action, I would imagine, over the next 90 minutes. So a quick look at the remaining races then. We've got Baku tonight, as we've said, and then Imola for the season finale, round 12. Where this particular title, First Division, could be decided. There's a chance, I believe, that it can be decided tonight, but that requires a few very poor results, if not DNFs, from a few of the drivers, which we'll cover in just a moment. But I think it may come down to the final race in Imola next Tuesday night. So let's take a look at the standings. So Matti in the Haas leads the championship by only 7 points, so it cannot be over tonight. But a driver could be written out by the end of tonight. Goran Potner is on the brink of his title challenge being over. He needs a positive result tonight, ideally a better result than Matti in the Haas, but Danos is absolutely well within reach to go ahead and take P1 in the championship with a positive result over Matti tonight. So them two will be bringing the top of their game, and those two being caught up in any accidents in qualifying or the race could really spell danger for their championship run. Looking elsewhere down the grid, I haven't really seen how many. I think we've got about 14 drivers tonight. Obviously, the two I've just talked about have had first and second consecutive finishes since Singapore, since China even. In fact, Bahrain, if I knew what that flag was, since Bahrain. So the 3 in a row for those guys. And unfortunately, Rishi won't be with us, but Leakey found himself on the podium, and Callum, in only his second race, got himself on the podium last week. The Constructors title then, still very close between the two teams that you would expect. Aston Martin not written off yet, but it'll be a big overhaul to get the points that they need to take it over the line. That will require some massive results from them over the next 2 races. But Haas lead by 8 points, and as we said earlier, Danos and his teammate will need to bring home some good points if they want to take the Constructors title. Now I'm just going to quickly check. The session hasn't yet started, so we've still got plenty of time. I'm going to check the attendance. Just asking if I'm ready to go. Yes, I am ready to go. Yeah, I'm going to check the attendance and see... Where are we? First Division attendance. Let's see. The only person declined is Callum. So that will only affect Red Bull. So not nothing for the front runners. Now, has someone not? We've got 2 Aston Martins, we've got 2 Mercedes, we've got 2 Haas. So that battle is going to be well and truly on between those drivers. Looking at the all tiers, just in time, Ferrari lead, the first team to reach 1,000 points. They're 120 points clear, so that's going to be impossible to overtake. So I believe, in fact, no, it's not impossible because we've got 3 times the amount of points. It's not off yet, but that would really need some poor results if that's going to change hands. And quite big gaps start to crop up after the top 3. Red Bull quite a way below McLaren there in P3, so almost perfectly timed. I'll leave that open for a minute so you can take it all in. I'll get the chat open as per usual, and we'll be able to head off for what will be some tense laps initially, at least during qualifying. See how many drivers end up in the wall. A couple of guys in chat already, which is good to see. We've got Higgsy and Colin. Evening, guys. Hope all's well with you two. This one might take a little while to load up, actually. Now, we do have the telemetry system to test, but I'm not sure if it's not sure how it's going to go. We have the info. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stick the main race on, so I don't have to touch OBS for a while. And we can actually keep tabs on the entire grid, the entire live table, as things stand. So I'll keep you posted on that. I'm not going to be able to show that, I don't think. I'll give something a go for the sake of excitement. Now, I don't expect this to work at all. No, it hasn't worked. Okay. Well, it hasn't worked. You can it's no problem really though, is it? So let me just get rid of that. Don't really know why it hasn't worked. Bear with me. I just want to make sure that we can't get this going before I start following any drivers around. Because if it is possible, that will be pretty cool. Should have done this beforehand, but I was a bit rushed tonight, so you're going to have to just bear with me, as I keep saying. Just bear with me. Nope. Okay, I'm going to sack that off. I can see it though, so I can keep tabs on it as we go. So then, let's get this set up and let's get the drivers out. Who's the first guy out? It's the Alfa Romeo. It's Rusty. So we'll ride on board with Rusty as we would do normally and follow him around his lap. No pressure, Rusty. First guy out is going to get the attention though. Let's see. Best of luck to the Tauris, yeah, and in organic. Absolute carnage, Higgsy, yeah, I would have to agree. It's going to be many safety car simulators, I'm sure. Kieran's with us. Good luck McLaren in organic. Plenty of support for him from his fam, which is good to see. And Colin, and it looks, I'm going to guess that that's Baku. Baku signed in on the RPM account and said it was the wrong account. So here he is, he's back. Hello again. Zabiaka wishing himself good luck, which is pretty funny. Remember, leave the stream a like. That's some things I've been forgetting to do. And unfortunately, I haven't had time to process Danos's like and subscribe graphics, so I can't use those. So give it a like and see if we can get any of the guys in here. The numbers are building. Rusty is off on his lap then. He heads down into turn 1. And let's see how he gets on. Sinful's accidentally, I've just noticed Sinful's accidentally strapped the inters on, so he needs to get back in the pit lane and get those off. Which is keeping it clean so far. Heading down the final section now into sector 3. One of the toughest braking zones on the calendar, if not all alone on this circuit. The turn 15 left-hander. And now for turn 16. Rides out wide, uses the curb on the right-hand side, takes 17 and 18 and 19 flat out. Down toward the line, we've got an issue, and that's an Aston Martin who's gone deep into turn 2. We'll get this time. I would imagine he's going to keep that out of the wall, so there's no pressure there. And Rusty sets the fastest lap so far. Obviously the first lap I should have said. A 1:43.355. We've got the Alpine of Inorganic. No, it's not Inorganic. It was the Alpine of Iva coming around, and he beats that time by over 2/10. So great lap for him. Who's next then? Goey sets a 1:44, so he's a little bit off the pace. And Matty absolutely flying out of the blocks, 2 seconds quicker, over 2 seconds quicker, not quite 2.5. So he is setting a precedent for keeping his championship lead. That's an excellent lap. Now Danos, let's see, is he out yet? No, he's still in the pit lane. Sinful's done that lap on the inters, so he will box after this, I'm sure. Sorry, didn't mean to be still riding on board with him. He's going to dive into the pit lane. And let's see, Snellhank will be on a lap, so let's see what time he can set as he heads around 18 and 19 flat out, but not easy. You know, if you understeer either side, you're going to go straight into the barrier at 200 mile an hour, so you don't want to be doing that at all. And Snellhank goes up to P4, so it's a 1:42.9, just got himself inside the 42s. We have, I believe it's the, no, that's right on board with the Ferrari, Frax. Again, that difficult, he uses perfect amount of runoff there, just keeps it out the wall. We've got Richie in chat, good to see you, mate. And someone's already out. Yeah, I've just noticed that in chat. That's completely, it must have been. Pua Jones is out already, and that's what Baku meant by last to first. I've been looking at a few different things already, and I haven't noticed that one. So Jones, the first victim of the barriers around Baku. I will refer to everyone who DNFs as a victim. Just saying. He's joined us in chat. Normal service resumed. I wouldn't expect anything less, mate. Don't you worry about that. So, Goran Potner has gone just... sorry, no, not slightly. He's still a second off. So, Matty is still well in the pace, and Inorganic makes a mistake. We've all been there. Going into turn 3. He's the second guy to do that already tonight. We've got Zabayaka flying now. I'm catching a lot of drivers as they finish the laps. I want to get a few full laps on board. We're in sync now, everything's set up, so we are good to go. Let's see what Zabayaka can post. He currently sits P6 in the championship, tied on point with Snellhank in P5. He puts himself in P2 ahead of his teammate. Just a 10th clear though, so Matty still has over a second's worth of a margin, and most of the top drivers, aside from his rival Danos, has set a time. Let's ride on board with Danos. Let's ride on board for his entire lap then, and see where he can go in terms of challenging Matty for pole position. And those all-important pole position points as well, let's not forget. The right-hander on the straight, so as I said, it's an easy corner flat, but it's not always so straightforward. That's where Jones has found himself caught out immediately. Didn't quite have enough grip, clearly. And Danos is underway, braking just before the 100 metre board, down into third gear. Good apex there, and he gets his foot to the floor. Couldn't look out just before the 50-metre board, third gear again. He chooses second and he rides. He could have gone a little bit wider there, but he gets it out of the traction zone. No bother. Now another tricky braking zone, crossing over 200 miles an hour just before the 100-metre board, braking down. You can use a lot of curb on the left. Let it run out wide, and just before the 50 you want to get yourself down and tucked in nicely for the right-hander. That's the section of 90-degree corners gone. Now sector 2 gets a little bit more intricate as he heads through the first chicane of the circuit. And now the run up to the castle section, a difficult full curb right-hander. He has to come off the throttle a little bit there to keep it out the wall. That's going to have compromised his time ever so slightly. Gets it nice and safely through the castle section. No risks there. Save the risks till your final lap when the track's nice and warm. And now flat out. Just 2 more braking zones to go. Just a few more corners to go. Difficult one though. You want to swing it to the left and then to the right and then back to the left. And he has to keep it out the wall again. A little lift, but he's kept it pinned. Just after the 100-metre board, yellow flags are out. That's okay. It's in sector 2. Danos will continue. Uses a lot of curb. Now let's see. He's got a decent exit. And I think there's a Haas about to start a lap. So let's see if that's going to be Matty. And we can just swap between the two of them. DRS is open. He might get the touch of a drag there. It's not going to be very much from the car ahead. And Danos goes P3. 1 second behind 1 second behind Matty, and Goran Potner there is the closest still then, just over a tenth's margin to pole position. So the top 3 remain the top 3, but not quite in the same order. Snellhenk, Zabiaka are in there as well. They're currently P5 and P6 in the championship. And was that Matty going on? Yes, it was. So Matty now heading to the castle section. We've caught him just in time. There's a yellow flag toward the end of the lap. It's an Aston Martin, I think, just slowing down. That's okay. Matty's going to be a little bit more committed than he was earlier on in the lap. As the grip will be coming to him now. There's an AlphaTauri coming up ahead. Let's make sure he gets out the way, unless he was going to give him a tow. He's going to give him a tow by the looks of things. Matty might be pleased by this. He's nearly 4 tenths up on his personal best. He is absolutely flying tonight in comparison to most of the grid. Goran Potner might have something to say about that. As an Aston Martin about to start his lap, that may be him. We'll ride on board with that after we've got this time. He's going to get a bit of a drag. It's not going to be much from the AlphaTauri. He's 4 tenths up. Has he improved his exit out of the final corner? He goes half a second quicker, and that's a 40.3. An absolutely great time there. And it was Zabiaka who is on his out lap. So not Goran Potner. Danos will be on his in lap still, which he's just about to enter the pit lane now. So let's find some other drivers who are racing. Is that him going through sector 1 with no battery? So he's not going to finish a lap. Inorganic is about to finish his lap, I believe, unless this is his in lap. I believe this is the lap, looking at his timings. No, he boxes. Who's next? We've got a decent pack all about to start a lap. That looks like Snellhenk it is. And Leaky. He's on his in lap, clearly. Snellhenk letting the flying AlphaTauri pass. That's right on board. Again, I'm not entirely sure if this is a timed lap. He has a bucket load of ERS remaining. Haas moves out of the way. Let's ride on with Snellhenk, who is about to start his lap. He's enabled ERS. He's going to get a little bit of a slipstream there. He's not going to tuck in behind him. So breaking down, he's clipped the outside barrier there. He's going to back out of that lap. He might have picked up front wing damage. If not, it'll have offset his time by quite a few tenths that alone. So Snellhenk unlucky there, mate, in turn 1. Alpha Tauri of Ruza, as I've learned. Boxes. So lots of drivers preparing to go out onto their final timed lap with just 4 minutes remaining in the session. Let's keep an eye on those top 3 drivers who, as it stands, well, they're not head and shoulders above everybody else, but the top 2 certainly are. And Matty is putting in a fine display so far. Right, is that Goran Partner and Zabiaka out on track? Yes, it is. And I'm just watching the rest of the track map. Where's Danos? Danos is starting a lap. Brilliant. Let's ride on board. In fact, let's ride off board for a change. And see how he gets on. Going into turn 1 once again. And have to compare sector times as we go. So, can't improve in the first sector, Danos, so he is still going to find himself a second and a half behind the championship leader. Now, that's not all said and done. There's still a whole Grand Prix to race. But on raw pace alone, we're not sure if Danos has got it on Matty. Unless there's a mistake, you'll never know. Let's see as he heads down the flat double left-hander into this penultimate braking zone. Oh, he's 3/10 up. So he has clawed some time back. Still not going to be enough to dent the top 2 on the front row. But if he got a good exit, it should be enough to put him in front of Zabiaka in P3. Now this will be Danos' final lap of the session. So he hasn't left it too late. But he does take that 3rd place by, well, a quarter of a tenth really. Not much at all. That's not much for Zabiaka to have to improve by. I think there's an Alpine gone off there. Is that Ivor? No, it is the other guy. Gala, who's dropped it in true Seb Vettel style. And he's been disqualified for sitting still on the grid. So, Matty is making his way around now. We'll keep eyes on that. Goran Potner is, I can't tell based on his ERS if he's lapping or not. We'll keep an eye on that. Also, we've got a few drivers who are about to cross the line. Let's see if their times change. I believe that's either, no, Inorganic moves up. Goran Potner looks like he set the fastest sector 2 time. He's going to pick up another little drag off of the Ferrari ahead. Let's see if that can put him anywhere closer to Matt. It's only just shy of 2/10 quicker. So Matty, will hold on to that for the time being. Here he is then, about to start his lap. Danos is done. Goran Potner is done. Zabiaka is done. It looks like pole for Matty. And he is done as well. So there it is. Matty locks in pole position. by the best part of half a second over the rest of the field. So great by him. Who else have we got coming around? Snellhank is done. Leakey is on a lap. We only have one McLaren here this evening, so he will be finished his lap as well. Ivor, Inorganic, Frax and Spivey look like they're still out on track. They'll be finishing their laps as we speak. Let's see, can Leakey improve? Let's take a look at his sector times. He's a long way off of an improvement, but he's 8 tenths up, so he is on to take Zabiaka as things stand. He's well clear of Zabiaka. He will even take Danos at this pace. So he wants the second row of the grid, and he wants P3 to help defend for his teammate, and that'll be a huge help if you can do that to help Matty stay at the lead. And he does take P3, great lap to finish the session there by Leakey, so good news for Matty there. Ivor has boxed, he's done. Frax, he's coming down now. Let's see what he can do. He's slower, I believe, so he may not improve. He hasn't improved, and Spivey has boxed. So that's it then. That is the grid for this race around the streets of Baku then. So Matty sets pole position, Goran Potner in P2. Leakey, the other Haas, starts the second row of the grid, and Danos rounds off the second row of the grid. Zabiaka in the other Aston Martin in P5, Snellhank in P6. Ivor, Goey and Organic and Frax round off the top 10. Unfortunately for Rusty, Ruza, Sinful, Jones and somebody Gala, who all DNF'd, or who all DNF'd or got disqualified from the session, will start toward the back of the grid. So we've got Zabiaka saying that P3 was close. Yes, it was. And he hit the wall on the Seb Ham corner, so that'll be the penultimate braking zone of the lap. The old brake check and wheel bashing that occurred a few years ago. As I said earlier, one of the most difficult braking zones on the calendar, obviously on the track, but maybe even on the calendar. You come in at a very high speed, and it's a very, very tight braking zone. Be interesting to see if any cars try and go side by side through there, because there's not really going to be enough room for both of them to stay off the curb. We're on the grid then for the formation lap. So we're going to be led round by Matty. Let's see how big the gaps appear. And again, I'm going to pray that we get a good camera angle, because that sometimes makes the commentary a lot better or a lot worse. So I'll keep you posted with this table. However, I'm seeing some drivers are already shifting around before the race has started, so it looks like there might be some qualifying interference possibly there. Okay, we'll see what happens. Thankfully the top two haven't changed hands, so if anything does change there, then we can soon So you can see, but this is all just supposed to be a test, so it's all good. Better to understand than to expect it to be perfect straight away. Got 14 of you guys in chat again. As always, the goal is to reach 20. If I can remind you guys to try and like the stream, if you don't mind. That'll do us a big favour. I don't think anyone has, unfortunately. So you're all in the bad books for the time being until I see those numbers start ticking up. So Matty leads them then, already through the final corner, and there's a huge margin from P5 there. As you can see, the Aston Martin trailing, and the back markers not even through the final braking zone yet. So these four have flown round. That might give them some more tyre temp, but they're gonna have to sit on the grid for a little while. We've got most of the drivers on the medium tyre. We've got two ballsy drivers in organic and Gala going on the soft. They're going to hope to get a great electric start off the line, and a few guys on the hard tyres toward the back. Now, let's see then, as the final drivers. Zabayaka has been disqualified, so he's going to have cold tyres and a detriment to his start. And there's an issue there for the Alfa Romeo, I believe, who's failed a little bit there, and Ivor also. And who's that at the back? Garla's completely missed his grid spot, I think. So he's going to start the race sideways, I was going to say, but no, not sideways. Let's be having you then. We've got 5 lights, and for the penultimate time, we're underway. And for the first time, we're underway around Baku. It looks as though Danos has got a good start. Maddie gets away well as well, but Goran Potner wastes no time going up the inside, and he takes the lead of the race. Going into turn 1, there's an AlphaTauri wide there, and a McLaren going side by side. Snellhenk takes Ivor, and Ivor's got himself up some good positions as they all look to have got through cleanly and safely as they head down in towards turn 3. I said that, and there's Gala off in the background. I'm not going to be able to capture it, but he's out of the race, and the safety car, the VSC, has been deployed. Let's hope that doesn't get upgraded to a full course safety car and we can get underway quickly. My eyes are on the track map to see what's going to happen. So Goran Potner takes the lead then. Matty and Leaky, the two Haas drivers, find each other wheel to wheel in P2 and P3. Danos has stayed where he is. Rusty's had a good start, but Gooey's dropped himself down. Thankfully, the safety car hasn't come out on track and the car has been cleared. So we're going to be underway shortly. So Goran Potner leads and the two Haas drivers in behind. So let's watch on and see when it goes green. Have we gone green? No, we haven't. Track still under VSC conditions. And we are green. We are green now. So Goran Potner has got away well. He's already gapped a second to Leaky and to Matty, and the same to Leaky. Let's see if we've got anyone. Oh, and that's a big mistake by Ivor. That's in the wall, and that's surely going to be a safety car. And we've got Inorganic as well, who's been picked up. And Jones makes it through safely. So that is both Alpines and a Williams already out of this race. Now, the yellow flags are out. Is it going to be upgraded, or are we going to just see those cars disappear? I'd like to think that it will be okay. Jones boxes, he must have picked up damage, or does he think he can go the distance on hard tyres? Is he expecting the safety car to come out? He's got no front wing, so he's come in to change that, and the safety car is out on track. So the drivers have made it through one lap, and there's been a VSC and a safety car already taking that first high-speed corner, and the drivers just weren't ready for seemingly the lack of grip or whatever kind of pace he needed to take through that, because Ivor's just gone straight into the wall. and DNF. So disaster for Alpine. And Goran Potner takes hold of the lead. So for Jones, who's gone on to another set of mediums, he's going to have to box again, but it's not the end of the world. He can catch up to the back of the field. He's not going to have any long-standing advantage. If he'd thought those hards could have done the race, he's not gone down that route. Some of the press room, and ironically, the first driver to answer the first question was Ivor. Do you like street races? We asked, and he replied, all of them. The walls, the fences, it just has something. And in one racing lap, he's in the wall. So maybe he's changed his opinions on street tracks. We'll have to ask him. Let's have a look at the other guys. Rusty hates all the street circuits. Ruza doesn't like a single one, but if you had to pick one, Singapore would be the best. And Organic also hates street circuits, so we've got one guy who loves them, one guy who hates them, and both of those guys are out of the race before the third lap. And we will go for another lap behind the safety car. Jones is still gaining on the pack. He's still trying to catch up. He'll get there in time. Right, we're halfway through this final lap behind the safety car, and we can get racing again, probably for another 2 or 3 sectors before it comes out again, so strap yourselves in. It's going to be a fun one. We've got Ivor letting us know that Danos has picked up a little bit of wing damage. He obviously doesn't think it's critical to come in to change it just yet, so he's he's going to press on with what he has available. So the safety car is going to peel away. At the end of this lap, there is the message from race control. So we're about to get ourselves underway again. It's now on Goran Potner to back up the field, and he will choose his trigger point as to when he wants to go. He's going to be hunted all the way down to turn 1 by Matty. I can imagine he's going to leave it late. He doesn't want the drivers in behind to get a run on him down the straight under the slipstream. So he's got to frustrate them, try and dummy them in some way, and go when he thinks he can get away and make a gap down behind. Let's watch on from Leakey's onboard. How close is Danos? He's right up behind this as well. It's only a matter of time now before we're underway again. Goran Potner's gone. He's caught Leakey napping slightly, but not Matty. Matty's right on his tail, and if he gets a good braking zone, he's going to be with him throughout the duration of this lap. Let's watch them then as they head through turn 1. We've got side-by-side McLaren, Aston Martin, the Alpha Tauri sticking his nose up behind the Alfa Romeo, but doesn't get anywhere near the move. Ferrari jostling for position. Someone's gone straight on. It's Matty, the championship leader, has gone straight on at turn 2. And he finds himself dead last. That is huge for the ramifications of the title. My God, I didn't expect that one. So Goran Potner leads. Leakey in P2. Danos critically takes P3, which, according to the standings table, which I have in front of me, puts Danos to the top of the table, which is obviously correct. There was only a 7-point gap there. But Danos now leads the First Division title. First Division Drivers' Championship, and Matty has made a catastrophic mistake. He's still in the race, so it could be worse, but he finds himself all the way down in P13. I don't think he picked up any damage, but he's lost quite a lot of time. He's still only half a second behind Jones, so he is going to be making his way through the field with the pace that he showed in qualifying, but it'll be a tricky circuit to make that many overtakes. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on. Danos heads into the penultimate braking zone, gets it nice and wrapped around the corner. So Goran Potner leads, as we've said. Leakey in P2, Danos P3, Snellhenk up 2 positions into P4. Zabiaka holds what he's got, and Rusty continues that great start up into P6. That's right on board with Matty, who's dropped off the back of Jones. Has he made another mistake? Is his car still intact? I think it is. He's got both of his end plates. It should be okay. Let's make sure he stays out, and let's remind ourselves of the tyres. That's an issue. Who is that? It's Ruza, who's sideways in the wall. So Matty has got 2 free positions. He's taken Jones and he's taken Ruza, and Jones is in the box for the second time in 6 laps. It's been a disastrous race from him so far. Unfortunately, he didn't make it through qualifying, and he's getting another front wing. He does strap on the hard tyres though, so you'd like to think he wouldn't have to box again, unless there's another late safety car and he thinks it's viable to drop onto the soft tyres. Matty up to P11 then, still 2.5 seconds behind Spivey. So he's got some clean air to work with. But the margin now, 3 seconds to Goran Potner in the lead. Leakey's struggling to keep up with him at the moment. Zabiaka is out of his DRS as well, but Snellhenk is all over the back of the Aston Martin. That's right on board with this, and there's a Haas mistake again, and he's lost his front wing completely. That's going to cause an issue through the castle section. He's not going to let him through. Well, you wouldn't expect him to let him through, but he might have accepted that the McLaren was coming. He's holding him up. There's another issue in Sector 2. Who is that? I'm not sure. So disaster for the Haas. Danos has dropped down a few positions. And he's gone into the wall. What was he thinking? He tried to make the move around the McLaren. I only caught it from a different angle. And Danos is out. Danos is out of the race. Completely DNF. And the safety car is back out. That is crazy. So Matty feels better now. He regains the lead of the championship. But Goran Potner is in the best position. Goran Potner is now only 7 points. The same as... Oh, and what's happened here? Oh, he's pitted. It's all good. It's all good. Zabiaka has stayed out on the mediums. Let's see how many of the soft tyre runners boxed. I'm pretty sure most of them are. Okay, so maybe a poor decision by Zabiaka to stay out. Again, at this rate, we've had a VSC and 2 SCs in 6 laps. So you would expect more to come as things progress. So maybe it was the right decision for Zabiaka to stay out and make the most of those mediums, but we'll soon see. So Goran Potner was 7 points behind. For some reason the table has changed again. Maybe that's because he's dropped down to 3rd. I think it will be because he's dropped down to 3rd, so not to worry. We'll see that later, but net, the outcome is Goran Potner leads and he closes the gap very, very tight, 7 points to P1 in the Drivers' Championship. This is a great table. I love this. But a disaster for Danos. Initially a disaster for Matty, but an even worse one for Danos. We've got Westy saying what a riot. It is absolutely a mess, but you know, we go. I was expecting Safety Car Simulator tonight, and that is what we have. An organic apologising to the Williams team. He tried to avoid either. Car got unsettled and fishtailed into the wall. Gutted again, no luck whatsoever. Yeah, avoiding a crash and turning out into your own incident is always a frustrating one. But that's racing, I guess, especially around these types of circuits. Thanks to everyone who's liked the stream. Just check the number there. If you've joined us recently, please try and like it on YouTube for us. We need to start getting into the habit of doing these kinds of things. Let's take a look at some of the press room questions. I don't think there was too many detailed answers. Question 2. What is the most common excuse for a DNF? Rusty says his cat or dog would jump on him while he's driving. That's not a very good one. As in, it's a good excuse, but it's not good when it happens. Ruse is saying his controller disconnects. Yeah, I can imagine that's quite a common excuse. And Organic saying he's just a crap racing driver. Well, I mean, you said it, mate. You said it. So, another one then, the best newcomer of Season 5. Man, I tell you what, if we're flying through all these and another safety car comes out, I'm going to have nothing to talk about. Best newcomer of Season 5, we've got a vote for Callum. We've got a vote for No One. We've got a vote for Steebo. And we've got a vote for No One. So, thanks for everyone who answered that question, the 2 guys. But there's not much to go off from 4 responses, admittedly. Well, 3 responses really, if you discount Ivor, since he made the questions. Are we in? I think we might be in. Indeed we are. So Zabayaka on those aging medium tyres will get us away. Spivey's also chose to stay out, and he's gone early, and he's caught Spivey napping nearly a second already. Goran Potner's onto it though, with a similar gap to Leakey in behind. And what's happened there? Spivey's just let them both pass. He doesn't want any beef there, it seems. And Goran Potner has taken the lead already. Was that some sort of team orders there? I think it might have been, because Goran Potner's gone from P3 to P1 in one braking zone, in one corner, and he leads the Azerbaijan Grand Prix and moves himself back up into P2 in the driver's title. Matty's gained another position, however, up to P9. So the latest there is that it's now a 9-point differential between the two drivers. I'm not going to keep referring to that because it will change as Matty makes some overtakes. But let's watch as the rest of the drivers head through the castle section. We've got a Mercedes going very wide there, looking to dummy, nearly put himself in the wall, Sinful. And Matty, the championship leader, follows up. Jones, Snellhenk and Ruza make their way around. Critical that these guys get settled in to a few good consistent race laps. We haven't had that yet. So in these opening 2 or 3 laps, there's still a possibility for a mistake. Well, there's always a possibility for a mistake, but while the track's a little bit cooler, the tyre's not quite warmed up properly, you don't want to be going for anything too risky. All the drivers seem to have made it around that first lap successfully. The final car has exited the braking zone, and they head down the straight. Let's make sure that everyone gets through this X section. Okay. The top 6, top 7, top 8 are all through. Mercedes is battling with Rusty, and he's got the move done under ERS. Jones has been taken by Snellhenk, and Leakey has taken Spivey. Those tyres must be wearing off, but Leakey's gone, and he's pulled back onto the racing line, and he's moved out the way, but he's dropped a position, and he looks to go around the outside. He's going to switch it back, I would imagine. Yes, he has, and Frax has got the better exit. Is he going to carry the speed all the way down to the braking zone of turn 3? Yes, he is. Leakey's made a mistake, and it's cost him 2 positions in a matter of corners, and Frax is gone. I don't know what that was. He's outbraked himself. Thankfully, it seems like everything might be okay. His front wing's gone, I think, and that promotes Matty into P6. He's had a great start from the safety car. And Frax went down the inside on 2 drivers. The first one was on, the second one was never. He must have just outbraked himself. And luckily, it hasn't ended up in another safety car. All drivers continue as they head through the castle section once again. Let's watch on, see who makes it through. Goey enters first, Sinful follows him, and Matty through next. So everyone's keeping it clean so far. And the rest of the field make it through. Ruza taking quite a lot of curve. Now let's ride on with Goran Potner. Matty's taken Sinful. Are they battling, or is the move done? The move's done on the exit of the castle section. So Matty is well on the hunt. He's already pitted, and 2 cars ahead of him are yet to pit. So he's net P3 as it stands. But the gap's beginning to appear. 3.5 seconds to Spivey, and 3 seconds from Goey. So Matty's got a lot of work. He's going to have some clean air once he gets past the AlphaTauri ahead, as race control enables DRS. Is that for the first time? Possibly. I'm not entirely sure. Everyone's made it through, and Matty has closed the gap significantly. He had the pace in qualifying, so it's clear that he's the better of the grid pace-wise around here. It's just whether he can keep it on the road. He's already been off once. He's already found himself dead last, but he's made his way back through the grid. Some overtakes of his own, but also some mistakes from other drivers which have opened the door. There's an issue. Who is that? Oh, it's a big collision between Leakey and Sinful. The whole track is blocked. There's cars everywhere. It's a free-for-all. Jones has lost a front wing for the 3rd time. The track was entirely blocked there. I didn't catch the initial incident. I believe it was Leakey. It might have been Snellhenk driving into the side of Leakey, perhaps under braking. But 3 cars around there blocking the track. So that's put a massive dent between Rusty and Frax 6 seconds. And other drivers over a second as things stand. So not good there. And the safety car, the safety car's back on track, even though no one DNF'd and all the cars are moving again. So yeah, this game is just sensational. Hopefully we'll be underway once again at the end of this lap. So sorry, I've just decided to mute myself while this period went on because I've run out of press room questions. Why didn't Spivey box? Good question. That was a great question. Because they're not going to go the distance. I can't imagine. They will not do 23 laps, so that's a very good question, which I do not have the answers to. He's up 10 positions. He probably thinks he can hold on and maybe have another safety car come out. which, as we said, is the theme, let's say, of tonight. Sinful up 9 places, which is good. Zabiaka, the only guy holding on to his grid position, which is quite ironic. And Goran Potner still leads. So Matty finds himself in P4. Not all is lost. He's still got plenty of time and a bucket load of pace to get himself back up into challenging for P1. And this time it's down to Goran Potner to lead us away. Taking predictions in the chat. When is the next safety car coming out? Is it going to be this lap? Is it going to be next lap? Or is it going to be the lap after that? Let's not be silly. Let's not pretend like we can do 4 laps without a safety car. So it's going to be in the next 3. But which one? That is the question. Let me know. So, 12 drivers remain of the 16 that started. And is he gone early? Goran Potner has said bye-bye. And he's gapped Spivey by already a second. Spivey was not ready for that. And I love the change of direction there by Goran Potner. Everyone else has left it very late. He said, no thank you, I'm going to go very early, and it's paid off. He's already out of DRS for when it gets enabled in a few laps time, if he can get himself away now. Let's take a look at the tyres then. He's on, not the freshest, but he's on OK mediums that will go to the finish if he needs them to. Sabayaka's arguably in the best position. Those hards will go quite away. Let's see what's going on further down. Matty right up behind Goey for the podium places. 3/10 the closest driver. As things stand, Frax is moving in on the back of Leakey and Ruza. And Ruza's been taken by Leakey, and now Frax is up the inside. Is he going to get it done? Yes. Ruza lets him by. Didn't want to get involved in that one. Let's take a look at Matty then. Oh, he's kept it out the wall. He's made contact with Zabiaka by the looks of things. A ballsy move. Matty gets it back. Zabiaka folds back in behind him. Leakey's taking Snellhank again. Further down for P9. As they head through the castle section. There's a yellow flag. I think everyone's made it through. Yes, everyone has made it through. So we're green flagged again. Matty has gapped Zabiaka by a second now. I'm not sure. Did Zabiaka just send one up the inside through the castle section? Is he trying to do his teammate a favour perhaps? By making life more difficult for his championship rival. He already gave him a favour by letting him go earlier on. And Leakey closing right in behind Sinful. He's going to get a tighter line here to try and open up the final corner. And he's enabled the RS. It's likely that he gets the move done as they head down the straight toward turn 1. Approaching 210 miles an hour. 214 maybe by the braking zone. No. Sinful has pitted off of 2 lap old mediums. He must have picked up damage at some stage. Then and Leakey back up into P7. Oh dear. I feel like I thought my game was going to crash there. Goey right on Spivey, who's on those wearing tyres. More fresh rubber coming from the AlphaTauri in behind, but all the time that Spivey holds up Goey allows Matty to close the gap. Meanwhile, Goran Potner is beginning to check out of this race. 4 seconds clear on the better tyre. So he'll be looking to keep that gap as small as possible. Although with Matty gaining more and more points, he's extended the margin back to 25 now. It was 7 at some point tonight. Now it's back up to 25. So disaster averted for Matty. But Goran Potner, never mind. Is that Matty? It is Matty in the wall at the difficult braking zone at the, what did someone say? The Seb-Ham corner, the Hab-Seb corner earlier. And Matty will be without a front wing. So he's going to have to box. Having just put on those... Well, not just, but having barely used those hard tyres. Meanwhile, his rival sets the fastest lap of the race. So let's watch on as Matty pits and he'll probably come out last, I can't imagine. Jones is actually really far behind. There's been an issue there that I've missed. They're 17 seconds off the pace. It's only been a few laps since the safety car came out. So Matty drops down, loses out to Frax, loses out to Ruza. And is it going to be tight, or is he going to get out? He's serving... No, he's not serving anything. He's serving his front wing change. And he gets out of the pit lane well ahead of Jones. So he comes out in P9. That now puts the margin back down to just 9 seconds. Sorry, 9 points even. It's all heating up. And he needs to be careful. He went a little bit deep there. He needs to just get the outlap done, get the tyres warmed up. And Zabiaka closing in, as is Goey to Spivey. Oh, and he's dropped it. Zabiaka's going to face the wrong way. He's got time, just. Rusty's coming around now. And he wasn't best pleased there. He's had to get out of the way. Zabiaka hasn't been able to keep it on the road, but thankfully he's got it facing the right way and out of the barrier. Goran Potner now 6.5 seconds clear. He is absolutely checking out of this. As we said earlier, he's just got to keep it clean. There's 10 laps to go in this race, which has both not flown over and also flown over. Goey's not going to think about it yet. No, he's not. There's an issue for Snellhenk, who's DNF'd in the flat out section. And would you guess, we made it 3 laps before the safety car came back out again. It's one of the most entertaining races you will ever see here at RPM, First Division, Tuesday nights, around Baku. It's absolutely sensational. Now Spivey can pit. And Spivey will pit when he comes around the corner. Some drivers may think about the softs. It'll be risky. Some drivers have thought about the softs. Frax and Rosa drop onto the soft tyres. Now they'll have to keep them very, very nicely under the safety car to minimise the tyre wet. Otherwise it'll be a bit of a stretch, I think, pushing them for 10 laps. Yeah, Smith, you did call it, but don't think it was too far-fetched to assume that there would be another safety car. I wouldn't even put it past them to be another one after this. It'll be lap 19 or 20, which will leave us with 7 racing laps to go, and if it happens in the next 2 or 3, it'll come out once more. So it's not over yet. There could be an RPM record. The bad news is Goran Potner loses that gap, which he absolutely checked out from, but it looks as though he's going to box. I would imagine he'll come in. He may only have the softs to go on. So let's see what he chooses to do. Bangs it in neutral by mistake, unfortunately. No matter though, he heads down towards his box. And his team have ready the medium compound tyre now. Is that fresh mediums? Yes, it is fresh mediums. That's probably the smarter decision. You don't want to risk the softs. I wouldn't have. So we had a fresh set of mediums, which is good for him. Rusty stays out on those mediums, which will go to the end. So he inherits the lead of the race. All of a sudden, the table shifts around again. Matty takes P5. There's some drivers around in box. I will refresh the table just so we try and see the most updated things. We just got to bear in mind the fastest lap and the pole position points. Yeah, so according to this, Matty's advantage is now 24 points again. So it's been high, it's been low, it's been high, it's been low, and now it's high again. A massive margin remains in that championship, but it's not over yet with the round next week. And still a few more laps for these drivers to navigate then. So, Rusty stays out on those 6-lap-old mediums. We've got Gorham on mediums in behind him, then Spivey, fresh softs. Great choice to stay out in the end. He's going to have some pace on the other drivers if he can keep the tyre wear down over the next few laps while the safety car's on track. Matty and Leakey, the two Haas drivers, they won't get in each other's way. Leakey will let Matty go. He might even be wise to hold up Zabayaka just so he can't try and do Goran Potner any heroic favours, as he may or may not have done. I'm not saying it was intentional, but you always got that in your mind when he sent him in the castle section. Not the smartest place to overtake. Ruza coming around, he's also on the softs. Frack's the same as they head through the penultimate braking zone, the penultimate set of corners. Sinful also coming around on the mediums, and Jones rounding up the back of the pack. Unfortunately, once again, he's quite a way back. He's going to have to get his foot down if he's going to catch up before the safety car comes in next lap. That's no good for his mediums. They're going to be wearing heavier than the guys ahead, but the only advantage might be that he might have a little bit more temperature in them when the race resumes. Right. So, I believe the safety car should come in this lap. Jones still a little way off the pack though. Let's see what's going to happen. Rusty has inherited a great position here with not too many laps to go. He's up 10 places. It's an absolutely great race from him and his teammate Spivey in the other Alfa Romeo. Let's see if we get the message from race control, or are we going again? Safety car in this lap. Jones just catches up to the back of the pack in time. And he's got plenty of battery to deploy as well, so he hasn't wasted that on his way. Now, will Rusty take a leaf out of Goran Potner's book by going early? Goran Potner will be alive to it, I'm sure, no matter what he does. On those fresh medium tyres, he's going to have the rubber, and he needs to get the job done as soon as he can. He can't allow the other Alfa Romeo to get ahead of him, otherwise they'll try and make a gap. And Rusty has gone, and Matty's dropped some positions immediately. Leakey's struggling. Is he just let him back past there? I'm not sure. I think he might have done. He's left himself exposed perhaps into turn one. We go. Zabayaka dives down the inside, and he gets the move done. There's a Ferrari moving up past Ruza, and the Mercedes moves side by side. Sinful. Is he going to dive up the inside of turn two? Yes, he is. Down to first gear. And Ruza gets overtaken there as they head through once again. Goran Potner's taking the lead of the race. I've missed that one. Matty goes wheel to wheel, side by side. Two of them do, and he has to pull out and avoid an incident there. And he's now been hunted by Zabayaka. Leakey needs to get himself involved to try and help out his teammate. We've got Ruza, who is round but okay, and he's going to keep it going. No safety car, thank God for that. Goran Potner, 1.3 seconds clear. Spivey's dropped again. He's still in DRS range of his teammate, so a double Alfa Romeo podium is on the cards in the final 7 laps tonight. Matty's got to get the job done soon on the AlphaTauri, and it might be sooner than we'd expected. If he gets a good exit, he might be able to get him. He's not going to get him here. He might be able to get him into turn 1, or possibly the final braking zone of the lap. Zabi Yaka is going to be soon around, and he makes contact with him, I believe. He hasn't spun him round. Yellow flag in sector 2. Frax is out. He's in the wall. The safety car is out again, folks. Let's give him a round of applause for all the drivers tonight. This is some exquisite display of safety car driving. Yeah, as I said, Smith, it's a good call, mate, but it's the obvious call. We've had a record 17 safety cars in 20 laps. I don't know how that's possible, but let's just say it is. And has anyone boxed? Surely not. Everyone stays out. Well, Baku, mate, you thought wrong. You thought wrong. Some people do box. Sinful boxes. Jones boxes. Ruza Neely makes a mistake as he boxes there. And I've had an absolutely thrilling evening. It's been amazing. The Aston Martin safety car has definitely earned its pennies tonight, that's for sure. And I'm praying that the other 2 commentators don't have to sit through this tomorrow and Thursday, because it has been pain. Pain. Just Spain without the S, mate. Spain without the S. Six drivers have been claimed by the walls. No one seems to be able to do 3 laps without making a mistake. And good news is we drive here again next season, so that's going to be an opportunity for the drivers to improve. And it was always going to be a war of attrition style race tonight, more of an endurance. And Baku, I think you are correct about that. Jones has made 7 pit stops. Now, I'm mates with Jones. You know, he's a good guy. But what the hell is even that? 7? Has anyone ever made 7 pit stops before? In RPM, if not F1 history? Anyway. I don't want to dig the poor guy too much, but that is hilarious. Sinful not far behind. 6 stops. And the tyre back on fresh softs. The 3 guys at the back. So Leaky could be in trouble at the restart. Goran Potner leads. Rusty Spivey. This podium still looking good for Alfa Romeo. Double podium. Yeah, the comments are flying in now. Daddy chill. What the hell is even that? Oh god. Evil's done more before apparently. Well, I'm not surprised by that, to be honest. Hopefully we'll be in at the end of this lap. And yes, good point back at Ivor even. He's still in the points. Higgsy's done the maths for us. 1 stop every 3 laps is absolutely outrageous. I mean, it's not that difficult to work out, is it? 21 divided by 7, but yeah, that is outrageous. I hope he gets some stick for that. Not that I condone bullying, but, you know, gentle bullying is respected. I can't believe that. 7 pit stops, man. Yeah. I think we should just rename the pit stop to the Jones. That would probably be more accurate in this current climate, so... I'm not going to say box anymore. I'm going to just say Jones. And then everyone will know what's going on. So, hopefully, we get underway. Yeah, hopefully we get underway for what will be the final 4 laps. Safety car is on reduced. Well, I hope it is. Christ alive, I hope it is. Whoever set up the lobby, I think they normally do it, right? Simple. Normally does it, right? So, he knows what he's doing. Ah, that's it, Jones, is it? You've been asked to test. Jones is testing out all the new tyre compounds. He's taking one for the team. So we had to go through the cycle of all the tyres just to make sure that they were going to be A-OK. So we're going to go again. Is Goran Potner going to take his previous approach of launching early, or is he going to trick them again by taking them all the way to the line? We'll have 4 laps of racing. The safety car can't come back out. So we are going to have 4 laps of racing, thank God. And let's see what happens. Let's see when Goran Potner chooses to go. He's gone early again. Rusty's got a slightly better launch than the guy did last time. I can't remember who it was. Only half a second, but those 10-lap-old mediums are going to be struggling to the soft runners behind. Let's watch them as they go into turn 1. Goey has taken Spivey immediately into turn 1 on the medium tyre, and Matty finds himself right in the gearbox of the Alfa Romeo. Everybody else through cleanly then. Zabayaka follows them through. Leaky, Sinful, Jones and Ruza round off the back markers in this case. And Potner's nearly a second clear. Not quite though, but he's got a good restart. He's held his advantage. Let's ride on board with the championship leader. Currently leading by 19 points. He gets a good exit and deploys some ERS. Is he going to summon up the inside of Spivey? He thinks better of it on those medium tyres. He might just get the switch back here through the chicane, and Spivey's not carried the speed. He's sort of forced his way through there a little bit, Matty, but he stays behind. As they head through the castle section, he's gone. Zabiyaka has dropped. He's still there though. And Matty gets his foot to the floor. He's got to get this move done fairly soon. Goran Potner still leads, extending that margin. He's doubled it since we last looked. Now nearly 2 seconds clear. And the closest guy at the minute is Sinful, who's going wheel to wheel with Leaky, who nearly turns in on him. Leaky, he's hung it around the outside well, but Sinful is still there. Let's ride on board as they head through this swinging left-right section. Both of them keep it out the wall. Jones will be rubbing his hands together, hoping that he can pick them off. He's a little bit too far back though. Matty, is he going to go for a move? No, he's not. Is Sinful going to go for a move? Yes, he is. He moves to the inside, dives down into turn 1. Leaky switches back and he keeps the position. Sinful went a little bit too deep there, as you would have expected. And Zabayaka also all over this battle for P5. Jones has gained time on them. And he's got a bucket load of battery to deploy ahead of this guy. I heard something there. Leaky's round. I looked down at my phone to check the chat, and Leaky is around in turn 3. Jones has taken Sinful, so he's picked off a few more places, and he gets himself up into P7. Goran Potner now 3.5 seconds clear. He's absolutely flying at the start. Matty 2 tenths behind the Alfa Romeo. He's starting to be held up now, I think, a little bit. Those soft tyres won't be good. He's given him a little touch. He kept it together, Spivey, and he's not going to settle for that very easily. He keeps his foot flat to the floor and keeps the Haas behind him. As they head into the braking zone, Matty makes it a little bit tighter than it had to be. He could have steered to the right just slightly there before the braking zone. Chose to keep it to the left. And that might have opened the door for Zabayaka to get a good run in the Alfa Romeo's round. Spivey's gone. He's thought about pulling back onto the track, but he's waited, which is the right call. Is he going to get out of the way? Ruza has gone round a little bit. And Leaky. So Spivey has gone from a potential podium down to P10 in a matter of laps. Thankfully, no one in the wall. Goey's all over the back of Rusty. Those tyres really going to be struggling now in the final 2 laps for Rusty, who looked promising. And he's been touched and he's round. Rusty's round. And he's put it on the racing line and collected Jones. Not a great way to do it. Sinful's had to move out the way. I mean, you're restricted on where you can really be, but that was a poor re-entry from Rusty. And he's now down in P7. So after making 7 stops and moving his way up from the back of the grid 9 places, Jones finds himself up into P5. He'll be chuffed with this result in the end. He's half a second quicker than his best time. So those softs really coming into work, but he's 4.5 seconds down. So all he has to do is keep it clean. He's got a 2-second gap in behind and a 4-second gap in front. He's in some clean air on fresh soft tyres. So he's just got to bring it home, Jones. You'll haul some good points in. Zabayaka is on P4, which promotes Matty up to P3. The best he can hope for is a P2 finish, which really is all he can hope for, because Goran is nearly 6 seconds clear of the rest of the pack. Let's see what happens under DRS then. He's low on ERS. Goey hasn't got too much either, but he's got a little bit more to defend with. It's going to be a struggle. He enables it before the DRS zone to give himself that little bit of advantage, already reaching 205 miles an hour. Don't think it's going to be enough to get him into turn 1 though. Zabayaka is just as far behind. He'll be thinking it's open when them two start battling. Matty goes a little bit deep, keeps it out the wall. Issue in sector 3 as Taruza out through the flat out right-hander. No more safety cars. So that is the 7th driver to DNF tonight. And Goey goes defensive just to cover off the inside line. Matty's not done with it yet though. Still 3/10 off. And he's going very deep, very close in behind Goey there. All the while, Goran Potner checks out some more. 5 seconds, the margin still. And this allows Zabayaka. They've come together, Sinful and Rusty again. Rusty not being able to make it through sector 1 for the second lap running. And he collides with Sinful, who skillfully dodged him at the exit of turn 2 on the last lap. But they've come together again. Well, that's opened the margin for Jones now. All he has to do is take his time and bring it home. Sinful's gone deep. He's just about kept it out of the wall, but Rusty will be hoping for that position back. Are those soft tyres beginning to go off a little bit? Rusty's on 14 lap old medium, so they'll be in no better condition than those soft tyres ahead. But Zabayaka might be starting to struggle. That's it then. Goran Potner has driven a great drive up from what was only P2, I believe. Yeah, so he started in P2. He weaves his way down the final straight and wins in Baku, which is the best result he could have got. Matty gets him. He gets him before the line and he takes P2. What a finish. I'm glad I caught that. Goey finishes within 1/10. But Matty, damage limitation after the initial mistake, so I'm all the way down in P13 toward the start of the race. And he, as I said, damage limitation up to P2. So he's held on to most of his lead in the championship. Danos obviously struggling a little bit, having failed to see home any points today. The AlphaTauri gets himself on the podium, which is a great result. Now I'm going to check. I'm not sure how many podiums Goey has had so far this season. So let me just give that a quick check. And we'll run through the rest of the results. So, wow. That is Goey's best result of the season. He had a P6 in Portugal in round 1. And since then, he's only finished 3 races. He's had 2 P10s and a P9, 3 DNFs and 3 DNSs. He's only amassed 45 points, so he's nearly amassed his season tally in 1 race. Great result from him. He'll be chuffed in the AlphaTauri garage, finding himself on the podium for the first time this season. Goran Potner will take the top step and move up into P2 in the championship. Danos will hold on to P3. Zabayaka moves up past Snellhenk into 5th. And Sinful moves up past Leaky into P7. That's all the changes in the top 10 of the Drivers' Championship. Obviously pre-stewards' decisions. Could be some time penalties coming to some drivers in the mix there. And Goey has moved up quite a way. He's now in P14. And prior to this race, he was down in P18. So he's made big steps in the championship with an excellent result in P3. So the top 3 there, Goran Partner, Matty and Goey. Zabayaka, and a great drive from Jones. P14, 7 stops, yet still somehow finished in the top 5 in P5. Sinful, Rusty, Leahy, Spivey and Ruza round off the top 10. And that was it. The rest of the guys DNF'd. A grand total of 6 DNFs tonight. So not good for those guys down there. But that concludes the race tonight. Nothing else in chat at the championship, but hopefully it's a bit better safety car wise than it was tonight. So thanks everyone for joining me. Thanks for everyone who contributed in chat and liked the stream. I appreciate that. We're back tomorrow night with Luke, Wednesday championship, and then Jones on Thursday for the Premier Division before the ultimate round of the season around Imola, before we crack on with season 6 in a couple of weeks' time. So thanks everyone for joining me, and we'll see you all next week.